watching K5. Hawaii News Now is next.
Hawaii News Now.
Right now.
On K5.
KGMB and KHNL.
And always on HawaiiNewsNow.com.
In high definition, live, local, connected at 9 o'clock. This is Hawaii News Now.
Good morning. I'm Christiane Suzuki.
I'm Haryana Malai.
And I'm Kainoa Marple.
All right, let's take a look at what's happening now. President Obama is looking to avoid a militarized culture within American police forces, despite heavy rioting following the jury decision to not indict Officer Darren Wilson for shooting unarmed 18-year-old Michael Brown. However, Obama noted that he still plans to maintain federal programs that provide military-style equipment to the forces. In August, Obama noted that there is a big difference between our military and our local law enforcement, and we don't want those lines blurred.
I don't think there's a simple solution. I don't think any governmental action necessarily could have stopped that. I think maybe in the future, having more interaction between the citizens and the police officers that are patrolling that area that are positive social experiences could possibly prevent things like that, so that both the citizens see the police in a different light other than just like a uniformed law enforcement person, that they see them as a human being that's trying to do a job, and vice versa, that the police officers don't just see citizens and suspects as crime committing people, that they see them as humans that have lives and feelings, and so the only way I could see that happening is if both sides participated in some kind of pro-social activities together to get to know each other on a different level than just police officer and citizens.
Thank you. Obama wants to avoid a militarized police structure. Do you think this is smart?
I do think so. We have a military, and as far as I know, they're fairly capable of handling military type situations, even on our own soil when necessary. And I don't know if that's necessarily the role of the police. And I think if we make it the role of the police, it will try to extend them too far of what they're responsible for doing. And when you give people too much responsibility and too broad of a spectrum of things that they need to be doing, they're not going to be able to do those things as well. So I think having a separation of a military and a police force and having different goals for them is a smart way to go. So no, I don't think militarizing the police is a wise thing to do.
In lieu of a militarized structure, Obama is proposing a 3-year plan worth $263 million to increase training for police officers. $75 million of these funds would go towards the purchase of 50,000 body-mounted cameras for officers to wear while on duty.
Hey, it's Kainoa Marple reporting live with Miss Armstrong. Hey, Miss Armstrong, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay. Obama would like to set aside $263 million to go towards body cameras and extensive training for cops. Do you think this is a good use for government funding? If yes, why? If no, what do you think the money should be used for?
I like the idea of them getting more extensive training, especially since it seems like a lot of the police brutality that we've seen is because of a lack of training, especially with the militarized equipment that the police force seems to be receiving. I don't really know what the body cameras are going to do or how that they would be used. So I'm not sure if that's a good, it's a good way to spend money. But perhaps the training seems like a good idea.
It is one step in the right direction. I don't think it's going to solve the problem. Again, until people from different socioeconomic and just different areas of America are able to see each other as humans and get to know each other on a different level, I think these problems are going to continue to arise. Will cameras help? I don't know. People act different when they know they're being watched, so possibly, but the underlying cause for the mistrust and some of the anger and violence that's happening, I don't think is going to be solved by people wearing cameras.
Thank you for your time, Dean.
You're welcome.
These body cameras could potentially decrease deferring eyewitnesses' testimonies in future cases such as the one in Ferguson. On top of this, the Rialto Police Force used these body-mounted cameras for a year and saw an 89% decline in complaints against police officers, as well as a decline against force use against suspects. Whether this correlation would apply to civilians and officers across the country is up for a debate.
However, there's already been military weapons given to law enforcement, so while he may want to avoid it, it seems like it's already in place. So, for example, in Ferguson, I think the news has reported that they were given a lot of military weapons prior to this incident. And so, while it's great that he wants to avoid it, I want to know, why do they already have it?
Hi, I'm Parker Wong reporting from Punahou School with Noah Goss. How are you doing today, Noah?
I'm doing good, thank you.
In your opinion, what is the difference between the police and the military?
The police kind of enforces the laws the best they can, and the military is kind of the people who fight for our country. And yeah.
What do you feel is the ideal police force?
Once you know how to enforce the law, doing it correctly, not abusing their powers, and our super boys.
Okay, thank you, Noah.
In other news, the class of 2019 will have a brand new dean. As Mr. Willett moves on to the mainland with his family, Dean Salter of the Psychosocial Department will take his place. Salter will work alongside Mr. Willett's longtime partner, Dr. Priore Kim. Mr. Willett has decided to move to the mainland to be closer to his family.
How do you feel about Dean being your replacement?
I'm really happy about that. I think Dean's such a compassionate, skilled, amazing teacher and counselor. I think he's going to be great. He's going to be great.
What advice would you give Dean?
You can't do everything really, really well. Focus on the things that you do well. Have humility about the things that you don't do well. Know that other people here in the Dean's group do things maybe that you can't do, and they do them better than you, and that's great, because together I think that we're a pretty highly functional group. Have patience, and don't forget to spend time with the people he cares most about too, because the job is a very demanding job, and I want to make sure that he spends time with his kids.
Thank you, Mr. Willett.
Thanks, Parker. Academy deans act as mentors for their classes and provide counseling to various students. An academy dean must foster the connections between students and their teachers. With Salter's years' experience in school counseling and psychosocial classes, it is clear he is equipped to excel as a dean.
Well, there was an application process, so I had to write a one-page letter of interest, letting them know why I was interested in the position and why I thought I was qualified for the position. And I had to fill out like an online application. And then there was an interview process where I met with a team of people that were in charge of selecting the next dean. And they asked me some questions. A lot of them were scenarios, like if you were in this situation with the student, what do you think the best course of action would be? If you met with parents and this situation came up, like what do you think you would do about that? And then after that, I was just waiting, and I got the announcement that I'd been selected. I'm super excited, super happy, nervous, but generally, like, yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to meet the kids.
Thank you. Why do you want to become a dean, or why did you apply?
Well, the reason that I applied to become a dean was because when I was a student and when I was growing up, there was a bunch of people that were just amazing that went out of their way to really help me out. I didn't have the easiest time growing up, but a lot of, that's true of a lot of adolescents. And but I had some teachers and coaches and people that really sacrificed and did things above and beyond their job to make sure that my life turned out really well. And so when I got older and it was my time to decide like what to do for a career, I thought about like what kind of people do I really look up to and admire, and what kept coming up for me was those coaches and teachers that like did that for me. And so my goal for my career has always been to be that person for other people. And that's what led me into school psychology and my job prior to Punahou. And then when I heard about the dean position, I thought, like, I don't know of a position that would give you a better opportunity to like positively affect the lives of kids and really like help them through their journey through high school than as a dean. So I just thought that would really give me a great opportunity to do what I've always kind of wanted to do.
What qualifies you for this job?
Well, the dean position is it really involves a lot of counseling, and I'm trained as a school psychologist, so a lot of my educational training is in helping students learn, as well as mental health issues and counseling. It's also some administrative stuff, and prior to being here at Punahou, I ran a small school for 2 years for students with severe emotional and behavioral problems. And when I was there, it was more of a administrative position. So I was doing counseling, but I was also like the principal of the school and also teaching in the classroom and doing a lot of things. So that helped. And then I think just my experience here at Punahou in the few years that I've been here, I got to know a lot about the school and how things work, and apparently the people on the committee thought that was experience needed to do the job well.
Dean Salter has worked only 3 years so far in the psychosocial department, working in various public schools previously. However, he has already had a strong impact on many of Punahou's students, a factor which most likely contributed to the decision to name him a dean.
I'm an alum. I went to school here. And so one of my goals is going to be to try to remember what that experience was like and the pressures and some of the difficulties that come up during adolescence, and use some of the experience and knowledge that I've gained since then to help kids kind of navigate their way through some of those challenges. So yeah, that's going to be my biggest goal, and try to be approachable so kids trust me and are willing to let me be a part of their lives. I care a lot about everybody, all the kids here. I really do care about them a lot. I care a lot about the school, and I think that's the biggest thing, is just caring for them, letting them know that I'm here for them, that I'm a support, that there's someone on campus that they can trust and come to if they need something. That's really going to be how I'm going to try to make the most difference, is just care a lot for the kids.
Thank you, Dean.
That's all for today, boys.
Thanks for watching.
We can't wait to see the progress in Obama's police plan. Best of luck to Mr. Ouellette as he moves on to the continental U.S., and best of luck to Dean Salter as he prepares for the new freshman class.
Happy holidays! Woo!